watching the second Newshour debate on Times Now Super Prime Time.
Okay, on our debate number 2 tonight, Meenakshi Lekhi and Rahul Singh. Law of the Supreme Court BJP spokesperson, and Rahul Singh is a senior journalist. They're joining us from Delhi, and with me in the studios here in Mumbai are Ad Guru's Alyque Padamsee, Prahlad Kakkar, and managing partner of Counselage is Suhel Seth. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Now, you know, I'd like to open by asking Rahul Singh. 4 or 5 days back, he was making this whole case that, think about the Tehelka argument. Think about the Tehelka, think about its journalism. Now, even after this letter, would you say something like that? Mr. Rahul Singh, would you think about this young lady and what she has been through and the truths that she has brought out? Would you think about her, or would you think about the Tehelka?
Arnab, last time I spoke, you squashed me. So I would just like to say that I don't defend what Tarun Tejpal has done, or even what Shoma Chaudhary has done. But all I would say is, don't destroy a great magazine.
Oh, please,
just because these two people have.
The problem I have with that entire line of argument. I'll tell you this tonight. I have no intention of squashing you. Let me say this honestly. And if I did advertently or inadvertently squash you, as I said the last time, I only squashed the logic of your argument, Mr. Rahul Singh. I didn't squash you, and I'm sure you felt compelled to realize by the end of it that your argument was hollow compared to what this girl had been through. Suhel, what you've been through the letter of this girl, you've seen the conditions and what she says about why she was forced to resign and how she felt about it. What would you say to Rahul Singh, whose concerns are more with Tehelka?
No, I'm gonna give you what I believe is a dispassionate view. I think Tehelka is over. Think is over. For the two reasons. Number one, Tehelka stood for a brand of journalism which was based on credibility.
Oh, yes.
For whatever reasons. And we shouldn't be the prosecutors and the adjudicators, but the reality is that in public perception, the moral battle has been lost. If the moral war is won later thanks to the courts, that's another matter. Number two, Think by itself was a superb product. It was a supreme product, but today it's got a taint which it will find very hard to wash away. That's the reality. I mean, let's not fool ourselves. Tomorrow, sponsors are going to ask the question, should we be involved with a magazine or with a festival that was associated with some kind of sexual misconduct? And no one wants to be associated with taint. It's sad because the magazine stood for a firebrand kind of journalism. It's sad that this happened, but that's what fatal flaws are all about.
Oh yes, there was. And
the reality is that Think was a great product. You had people from.
No, but who cares about
That's
Think?
it. Rahul.
To put it bluntly, who cares about Think? Who cares? Frankly, who cares in this case what happens to Tehelka? The only consideration is what happens and what has happened to that girl, because in her resignation letter, and Alyque and Prahlad, I'd like you to come into this debate, she makes it clear there was a systematic attempt to downplay this right from the beginning. And she goes on and accuses the managing editor of being party to that cover-up. Is that the real issue or not?
I can only say that I find it unbelievable, really. I mean, I know Tarun Tejpal very well. In fact, I was one of the people when he was starting, he came to me and I gave him a couple of ideas how to raise money for it because no one wanted to help him. But it seems to be, I don't know, I mean, I can only say I've really been in a state of kind of shock in the last few days after hearing about this because I always found Tarun as a very courageous, forthright, the kind of person I would respect.
Are you building a case for Tarun? Are you trying to speak of those qualities in order to downplay what has happened in Goa?
No, I'm not trying to downplay. Is it a case of a kind of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde personality? I have a feeling that a lot of people in power have this. What was JFK doing? John F. Kennedy. What was Clinton doing? What was Monsieur, whatever his name was, the Frenchman?
No, you're trying to actually...
I'm making a point that it's really, I tell you, Tarun, with
I'm sorry. No, I am sorry. But you must correct yourself there. No, I'm not sorry. I am not sorry for. I'm saying that as a mark of respect to you, sir, and your seniority. But let me say this, Mr. Padamsee. Nobody accuses JFK of rape. Nobody accused JFK of rape. Your weak attempt. Your weak attempt to try and build this halo. To try and build this halo around Tarun Tejpal. One sec. Sohel.
See, I think, Alyque, the point is, we can't comment on this until it's proven in a court of law. The issue is, there is a girl involved who is Tarun's daughter's friend. There is a certain moral issue involved. That is the nub of the issue. I know Tarun for years. Even I'm surprised. The issue is not what is established in a court of law, which might take years. The issue is today, morally, there is a question mark, and no magazine, and no festival, and no human being with that level of public exposure or adulation can afford that taint. If I were Tarun, and I would just step back, forget recuse and all. Sometimes, and he may have meant it well, but prose can't replace remorse.
No, I'm not saying that. I want you to not put. I am saying to you very clearly, Arnab, I am shocked. It's unbelievable. And if Tarun is guilty, he should receive the full penalty of the law.
What about the manner in which this was ignored? When I read this letter here today, Prahlad, I don't know if you have. I can pass on this letter. You have read the letter, right? Okay, so that's great. So my question here is that you have Shoma Chaudhary, who ignores the victim when she protests against Tarun Tejpal's version. She writes that she says, I responded to both of Mr. Tejpal's mails clarifying A, that his behavior could not be described as a sexual liaison, B, that a sexual act was carried out without consent cannot be justified on any basis, C, that after Mr. Tejpal had referred to his position of power over me in the organization, he did not withdraw this statement as the emails allege. She says that Shoma Chaudhary continued to ignore my rebuttals to these emails while insisting in public that she was satisfied. So what's the story here? Of people who get together and give themselves a clean sheet?
No, it's not a question of getting together and give themselves. It was a cover-up. And the cover-up was a question of not absolute cover-up that it never happened, but a cover-up to a degree to say it wasn't as bad as it seems to be. Now, the fact was that it was bad. It was not only bad, but if they had actually gone the whole hog and admitted what was going on and put Tarun on charge for whatever it was worth, so that the court of law could actually take over, then there's a possibility that he would actually get away with a rap on the knuckles, because media...
Why rap on the knuckles?
No, because media...
Why rap on the knuckles?
No, because I'll tell you why. No. Because media is yelling rape. There was never rape, not by the girl herself, or by anybody.
I'm sorry. You have to read Article 375, the definition of rape.
So what is the definition of rape?
Well, read Article 375 under the new rules.
Any kind of sexual assault. And this, ironically, is a law that was also pushed for by Shoma after the horrific Nirbhaya tragedy. The reality, I think, to my mind, Arnab, is as follows. There is no question that there is a victim in this. The girl is not crazy to make these kind of allegations.
And there was a cover-up of a kind to make it seem less heinous than it actually was.
No, whatever. Whether Shoma was ill-advised, whether it was a cover-up, we don't know. But where I am today is that there is no morality left in continuing either the magazine or this festival.
I don't agree.
I'll tell you why. Let me first complete the argument, then you can disagree. I'm saying when institutions are built on the sole plank of credibility.
Personalities. No, I'm sorry. Otherwise,
Tarun was Tehelka. Tehelka was Tarun.
Well, where would the New York Times be if all it is was built on one personality and he committed some heinous crime?
New York Times to Tehelka is a bit much.
No. I believe Tehelka is a wonderful magazine, and I've supported it, and I will continue to support it. Yes, definitely, if this is true, Tarun Tejpal has transgressed the law and therefore will be punished. I can only say that a man in his position, let me finish on, a man in his position, there is something very, very wrong that he would do what is written in the letter. Wrong, let me finish. That he would be he needs to see a psychiatrist.
So
I think the kind of man who would put
I think I want to go. May I say this as I go to Meenakshi Lekhi, who's been listening on? And it's rare on Newshour debates that Meenakshi Lekhi is the last person to come into the debate. She's usually, if I may say so, with more than a dash of humor, Meenakshi Lekhi is usually the first to come into the debate, dominate the debate, and then complain of being left out of the debate. So. So Meenakshi Lekhi, I feel here today that some of the gentlemen with me in the studio, who I will not name but who know I'm referring to them, are squeamish about accepting the terrible way in which Tehelka has knowingly botched up this case. The woman journalist is questioning Shoma Chaudhary of character assassination, which is precisely what has happened. Since Shoma Chaudhary floated the alternate version theory in the public domain, giving credence to it. You say that I'm into feminist politics, but you don't know, you can't just throw a stone in a victim's direction, say you feel sympathetic to the victim, but also suggest that there's another argument that it's consensual. I want Meenakshi Lekhi to come in on this, then I'm coming back to you. Meenakshi Lekhi.
You see, the flip-flop which has been going on through the email is in public domain. And the atonement theory, which was sought to be propagated in the first go, has also taken a back seat, because now the label for which atonement was sought is today said that it was consensual. If it was consensual, there was no case of atonement in the first place. And repeat allegation, counter-allegation, etc., all come to show that there was a devious mind, there was a perverse mindset. And the gentlemen on your show who are trying to label it as something else, we'll name
the gentleman. You're referring to Alyque Padamsee.
No name.
No, I'm saying Alyque Padamsee.
Hello, Arnab.
Okay. Because I can't see.
Don't live up your reputation.
I can't see. That is my problem.
Putting words in people's mouths.
Well, I think she referred to you.
I know, but you're putting words in my mouth.
She heard you, ma'am. She heard you.
What I said very clearly is that if Tarun is guilty, he should be punished. And I'm saying to this gentleman on my right that the Tehelka magazine is still a very viable proposition. Even if you get a new editor and you get a new editor.
I'm not even asking questions about the Tehelka magazine.
There is a gender bias on the panel.
1 second, Meenakshi Lekhi, please. Yeah, she's responding. Please let her complete. Yeah.
Yeah, my response to this entire theory is that it's not a question of one girl, but the propensity with which a sexual crime has been committed and sought to be pushed under the carpet. That is my point. And when propensity with which a sexual crime has happened, it goes to show and cast shadow on the ancestry and the caliber along with the integrity of Tehelka itself. And under those circumstances, couple of people who have worked with him in the past, one being Binu John and the other being Nida Nazar. Now, their statements are all in public purview, and I think one needs to have a relook at all the tasks which have been undertaken in the past, and it casts a deep shadow of corruption of all sorts, which is in public purview today. And it is for this reason there is a huge cloud over Tehelka itself. Yeah, whether it was causing Tehelka or for the sake of Tehelka, it was compromising on general principles of morality in every form.
Well, the point, yes, you want to respond, but I'll get Rahul Singh also back into this debate, and then you can come in. The question is, Mr. Rahul Singh, since you've been the one advocating for Tehelka for the first day, please don't mind my saying this to you, but the Tehelka management has hidden behind a fig leaf. Said, since the woman is satisfied, no questions will be entertained. Now, woman has resigned. And subsequent statement has expressed disappointment with the management. So, Tehelka stands completely exposed. Your attempt to draw a line between the individuals involved and Tehelka in this case, therefore, will not hold, because what we are questioning is the way Tehelka handled it, not the way in which individuals handled it.
No, apart from
Rahul Singh.
No,
can I just add one line to what you stated?
Rahul Singh. Meenakshi after Rahul Singh, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Arnab, 2 points I want to make. One is, let's look at this in a little bit of a historical perspective. In the last 2 or 3 years, I think all very positive, we have become very much more aware of sexual harassment at the workplace. Do you remember a person a few years ago called Fanis Murthy?
Yes. Infosys.
Who was a big person in Infosys.
Yeah.
Then went to iGate.
He was fired for sexual, and then he went to iGate, he was fired from that. Did anybody make a big fuss about it?
Of course.
Well, of course.
I don't think
so.
He lost his job.
No, 1 second. Of course.
That's what I'm saying.
Rahul Singh. No, 1 second.
Rahul, he lost his job. He lost his job in iGate. He lost his job. He lost his compensation, and he was sued in U.S. courts. He had to go in for an out-of-court settlement.
But I know. But did anything like what is happening to Tarun Tejpal happen to him?
You know why?
In the
it's a fatal flaw, sadly, for Tarun, because of the probity with which he led his life. You know, Tarun was at the vanguard of...
all I'm saying... Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean
all
to
I'm saying is that I think it's a positive thing. It's a positive thing that we are becoming much more aware of all these